Hey, what's up? What's up? Welcome back to the channel, Bass Brothers Fishing. Today, we're going to be installing a transducer onto the 1232 Alumacraft John boat without drilling through the transom. To do that, we're going to be installing a stern saver. This allows you to mount your transducer into this block right here in this package instead of mounting it directly through the side of your boat. They have a lot of different brands of this out there on the market, but this seems to be the best one. I'm gonna try it out and see how it does. I'm gonna crack this thing open, do a little quick unboxing of what's inside. Here's the actual pad that you mount onto the rear of your boat on the transom. Next, we've got epoxy. It comes with tubes that will mix it for you, so you don't have to mix it. So as you squeeze it out, these two will mix as it comes out the tube. Instructions, you've got alcohol wipes, a template, which is good. That makes life a lot easier. Sandpaper, gloves. This is where you mark the center of where you want your block to be. A lot comes in the kit. Everything is there for you. Pretty excited about installing this. Never installed this before. We're going to go ahead and get started, get this on the John boat, take you guys along for the ride as well. Let's go. So one of the first things you want to do is read the manual for your transducer and make sure that you're installing it in the recommended place based on your transducer. What I did initially was just hold this up here just to get an idea of where the block will need to be mounted so this transducer will be at the right height. And what I mean by that is most transducers need to be right at the level of this boat. So right now I am about 1 3/4 inches up from the bottom of the boat to the bottom of the block. Let's get this block 1.5 inches up. So I've got my height right, and now I just want to make sure that I am level. Oh wow, that was pretty close. Let's move it a little bit. I'm just going to draw this out. I just did half of the transducer because really the template is what I'm going to go off of. One of the most important things about this template is this center hole. The center hole marks where this piece will stick. So I'm going to stick this on the boat, and then this will go into the back of the pad to make sure it's exactly in the right place. So let's finish marking this off using the template. I'm tracing around the template, and then I will tape this off. I know it's hard for you guys to see the lines, but I have it drawn out. Now I'm going to mask it off. They do recommend 2-inch tape. That way you can protect your boat. You don't sand anywhere outside of the lines for your template. And it's also easier to clean up any of the residue that's left over from the epoxy. So I'm going to take the sandpaper that comes with the kit. They say you should go all the way down to the bare metal, so I'm going to do that. It's really nice that they give you everything you need to make this happen. Next, you take your alcohol wipe, just clean off any loose debris. They do recommend that when you're wiping, you wipe straight up and down or side to side. Do not wipe in a circle, and it helps to keep the surface that much more clean. I don't know, just a recommendation. That's what's in the instructions. So I'm gonna put this template back up here so that I can get my center hole. Here's the center pin that's going to be used to put right here in the center of the template, and it has an adhesive backing to it. Just want to peel that off. There we go. It's time to get the pad installed on the boat. So let's get on these gloves. About to get this epoxy on here. On the back side of the stern saver pad, it has 6 pre-drill holes, and this is where I'll put the epoxy inside of each one of these holes. They recommend that you soak the epoxy in warm water up to 100 degrees for 5 minutes before breaking the seal. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off now. I don't need it anymore. My center marks the spot. After I get it on here, I'll level it one more time. So heating it helps the epoxy to come out easier. I can already see that it is. Fill it 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch above the top surface. I've got the epoxy on here, and it is sticking up. That's a little high, but I'll clean out the excess after. This center hole right here will match this center hole. I'm gonna try to land it in the right place on the first attempt. There we go. There we go. Put that on there. Press firmly. Just gonna make sure that I'm level. I'm just gonna hold this on here for a while. I'm gonna use some rubbing alcohol and just clean off the excess. Very important to do this before it starts to cure. Next, I want to just use some tape and hold this on here overnight. All right, so this thing is taped up good, and that's just to ensure that it doesn't move. Doesn't take long to do this. I took my time, took about 30 minutes. Now the initial cure time is about 2 to 3 hours, and you can go ahead and mount your transducer after 12 hours. I'm gonna try to give this a full 24 hours before I mount the transducer. Again, just to play it safe, I want to give this thing more than enough time to dry. I want to try to ensure the best results. I've never installed a transducer without drilling.
24 hours later.
Let's go ahead and peel this away. I'm very anxious to see how this did and poke at it a bit. Do we touch it? What do we do? Oh my gosh. Well, it definitely feels good. Wow. This thing feels rock solid on here. Now it's time to mount the transducer. So when I mark the spot, I want to mark it right in the center of the 2 grooves that are provided. That way there's room to adjust it up and down, maybe 1/4 of an inch if needed. I'm not going to get into all of the technical stuff about the proper locations for transducer mounting. Link at the top of the screen up there for my video on installing a transducer and all the things you should consider when doing it, because there are some important things you want to pay attention to when mounting your transducer. So I'm using a 3/32 drill bit to drill a pilot hole for these stainless steel screws right here. Number 8, 3/4 inch. Just make sure when you drill into this stern pad, you don't drill through it into your hull, right? Obviously, don't do that. So measure your screw. All right. I think I'm actually going to screw in 1 screw first. So I'm going to hand tighten this only. I don't want to strip out the plastic, and I want to be able to feel how much tension I'm having on the screw from my pilot hole. Feels pretty good. This thing is going to be on here rock solid. So I'm just going to get this thing level, and then I am going to do my new hole, my new mark. Oh, you know what, guys? I want to put a washer in here. So as I was screwing it in, it started to shift the transducer. Reason being is I don't have a washer in here, and I have them right here. Just forgot to put them in. I'm gonna take my time, let the screw do the work. Not putting much pressure at all on the pad. It won't shift if you have a washer in between the screw. Look at that, that is centered. All right, that's what we want. I'm gonna leave the transducer up because I know me, I'll hit it with my knee or something before I'm done this build. So yeah, the stern saver pad worked really well. Bass Brothers and Crack-A-Lack Fishing will be in touch. And we'll probably do some fishing together as well, so you guys will see this boat in action. I'll keep you updated on how this does. I'm hoping it lasts a long time. I've never used it before, but again, researching this online, this seems to be the best one out there on the market. I cannot attest for how long it lasts for, but yeah, it's on there really well. And this is epoxy versus using, some people try to do this with just 5200, and it held for like 6 months or so, maybe even a year. The epoxy is supposed to be the way to go, and Stern Savers figured this thing out pretty well. All right, there you have it.